Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this channel. This is the Hotseat TV, and I am your host, Zach Oanda. And welcome to this fastest growing channel in the country. And if you have not liked, subscribe to this channel. It is my hope and wish that you subscribe to this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to discuss about the Kisii gubernatorial race that has gained momentum in the recent past, and a lot of intrigues have been accompanied to this race. And today specifically we want to discuss about the Dagoretti North MP and why he may not be on the ballot box. And friends, you can be able to agree that when Arati first showed interest to become the governor of Kisii County, a lot of people rubbed their shoulders, most specifically the Kisii County Governor, Governor James Ongwae. When Arati came to Kisii, it is alleged that Matiang'i funded his whole process of coming to Kisii and meeting large crowds. And this was because Matiang'i and Ongwae were on a war path because of the just concluded Bonchari election. So because Matiang'i and Ongwae were on a war path, and in the race of Bonchari, Ongwae beat Matiang'i hands down. So it was time for Matiang'i to go back to the drawing board and come back to marshal his will to become the Gusii Kingpin. In one of the last rallies of Azimio, the strength of Matiang'i was exhibited when no leader was able to address the crowds rather than the Dagoretti North MP. He was the only person who addressed the crowds. The leaders that were shouted down included Ogeri, the now Kisii County Senator, the former CAS, Chris Obure, the county women rep, Janet Ongera, and all these people were shouted down. And it is important to note that the dynamics of Kisii and Nairobi politics is different. What happens in Nairobi politics and what happens in Kisii County politics is different. In Nairobi, for instance, big convoys of vehicles is the style of politics there. Big billboards, people compete on who has put the biggest billboard or the largest number of billboards. So this is what people compete with in Nairobi. But here in Kisii, it is quite different because the people that you meet, you should go to them in a humble way. So when the Dagoretti North MP came, he employed the Nairobi tactics, such as goonism, walking around with bodied men in large numbers, putting billboards around Kisii town, and the big convoys of vehicles that he had, and border in his campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, as I have said, the dynamics of politics in Kisii and Nairobi are quite different. And it is important to note that the tactic of Simba Arati coming around to fight His Excellency Governor James Ongwae was a wrong tactic, because he's the holder of the office, the holder of all the powers that come with it. So the tactic of Simba Arati fighting the now governor was wrong, and all this time the governor was silent. And days later, the nominations started we had the ODM nominations, and this is where James Ongwae showed his prowess. After the Azimio rally where he was shouted down, James Ongwae went to the drawing board, and it is alleged that all his friends, he told them to move out of ODM so that they can be able to vie in various seats using other parties. Governor Ongwae went to Chungwa House, and on recent past, we have seen how he works. For instance, Simba Arati came around to conduct elections, but a day to election, those people who were vying to be MPs using the ODM ticket were called back to Nairobi so that they can be able to announce, they can go for consensus per se. So in this, Simba Arati was caught hands down because Governor Ongwae played it, and Simba Arati was not aware. He had come to Kisii so that he can conduct elections. After the nomination mess, where it is important to note one of the favorable candidates for Simba Arati, Donya, lost the nomination, ODM nomination certificate to the now women rep. This showed how weak Simba Arati is. Simba Arati is not able to marshal and has no say in the Orange House. This was important to note. Also, after the nomination mess to one Simba Arati, the academic credentials of Arati were brought into limelight. This is after a clip that was circulating in social media showed how a man who wanted to be Kisii County Governor was basically, literally, reading his curriculum vitae, the CV. And people poked holes on how you can read your CV, that you cannot explain on where you went to school and how you went to school. After poking the holes on the race to succeed Governor Ongwae on the Simba Arati bandwagon, a case was been launched in the ODM office. And this case is on the academic papers of Simba Arati. And what will happen if Simba Arati is handed over the ODM certificate? Because the accuser of this case says that Simba Arati cannot coherently address on issues. In most of the videos, he struggles to address issues. So these are some of the issues that were there of concern. And it's important to note that Governor James Ongwae has severally sworn not to allow bad leadership, and he has outwardly pointed out on Arati's mode of leadership that he will not allow somebody like that to succeed him. We are yet to see what happens, but sources reveal that Simba Arati will not be supported by the Azimio faction, that one Chris Obure will be supported so that he can be able to marshal with the UDA faction, which is led by Ezekiel Machogo and Joash Mangi. So we are yet to understand that on Wednesday, people will be going to Orange House for nomination certificates. So we will be waiting to see on what will happen on Wednesday, whether Simba Arati will be handed over the certificate, but sources reveal that he will not be on the ballot box, while other sources reveal that he is contemplating to be on the Senate race, going independent on the Senate race. So Simba Arati currently has a big problems. He's not able to campaign because he doesn't have the assurance of support from the party. So you can be able to follow these stories this week as we bring more analysis on what is happening in Kisii County, in all the counties in Kisii, in Kenya. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. And one thing, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this content in all the platforms that you are. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us today. And until next time, asante sana.